Hi guys, welcome back to Scott Family Homestead. We had a very exciting morning. Ryan went out to do chores and he found that our milk cow actually had her baby early this morning. We calculated our dates a little bit off. We thought we had seen her in heat at the end of November, which put her due date at September 3rd. So this is about 3 weeks prior to that. We weren't totally expecting it, but we knew it was coming. So we were very excited to see she had a little bull calf. He will be banded in about a week probably, and we'll grow him out as a steer. He is a hybrid of Jersey. So our milk cow is pure Jersey registered, beautiful Jersey, and the bull is a pure Highland. And so he is a cute little fluffy mix of the two of them. As far as today, because the first 24 hours are really important when your cow gives birth, especially a milk cow like a Jersey. So the very first thing we're going to do is get her some molasses water, give her a little bit of energy, a little bit of sugar boost. Molasses has a lot of good vitamins in it, so we're going to get that for her. We are going to dip the navel of the baby. So when that umbilical cord breaks, it really gives germs a direct route into the baby's stomach. And so what we do, we use a high concentration iodine solution, and we just dip that whole residual umbilical cord in there, and that keeps any germs from being able to travel up into a baby's tummy. And then the last thing we're going to do, because this is her second baby and she's a Jersey, we didn't worry about this at all with her first when she was a heifer, but they can get something called milk fever, which essentially is because she's making a ton of milk and it's pulling a lot of calcium. She has to have a lot of calcium to support the baby and to support that milk. And as you know, milk breeds like Jerseys, they produce way more milk than they need for their baby, which is why we are able to take some of that for ourselves because of their supply is so high. And what it does, it actually leaches calcium out of their bones, and if they don't have the calcium there, then their blood calcium goes so low that they get milk fever. Jerseys are more prone to this, and it's more likely to happen in subsequent lactations, especially when you get to third and beyond. And basically what you're looking for is they get lethargic. If your cow is down, that's a bad sign. If they have milk fever, you need to get them IV calcium very quickly. You need to get a vet on hand. But what we're going to do today is just a preventative. We're going to give her a calcium paste. We prefer the paste because she can't spit it out. And you don't want to do an IV at this point just for preventative. You just want to do something oral. It is somewhat costly, but it's part of having a milk cow. So we're going to get her that calcium paste today. We're going to keep a close eye on her. We're going to keep a close eye on baby, make sure he's nursing. Every single one of our kids have at least one activity that they have to get to. And just an insanely busy day. I've got tomatoes that need to be canned. It's going to be a crazy busy day. But we're going to go ahead and get those 3 things done because they are really important. And then we're going to try to make sure we can see this baby nurse, make sure he's getting his colostrum, super important. Moving forward, we will be milking twice a day for about 3 weeks. And then we like to dial it back to once a day, just a little bit easier with our schedule, but to get that milk supply established. You definitely want to start it twice a day, 12 hours apart. And so tonight will be our first milking and we'll start our new schedule.
Good morning. Lorelei had her baby last night. Early this morning actually. Went out to do chores and found her eating placenta. And naturally it's like the busiest day. We have all these things planned, these places we need to be. So this morning, before I take our youngest boy to kindergarten jumpstart class, I'm gonna give molasses water to Mama, and I'm going to dip the navel of the baby. I have molasses mixed into 1 gallon of warm water. We're going to add cold water on top of that, and then it'll be about lukewarm when Lorelei drinks it all. And that'll help keep her energy up, and we should be good to go. So let's go give her this. We're going to dip the navel of the baby, and then we'll be good to go. Take our youngest boy off to school, and then we'll go on from there. Got the molasses water out here, and we'll just wait for her to start drinking. In the meantime, we'll get the navel dipped of this baby. All right, got this cup of iodine, and we will just dip the navel until it's coated. Let's see if he was eating there, but it looks like not quite yet. So let's try this. Should be fairly easy. Come on, buddy. So we're just gonna hold that on there like that. There we go. That's all there is to it. All right, so we will keep an eye on these two. We want to make sure that he gets colostrum. I think he's nursed a couple times. I'm gonna make sure that he's going back and getting everything he needs, that mama's being good to him. All right, so we are going to use this calcium paste for Lorelei. She is a Jersey, so milk fever is something we're concerned about, especially as she gets on to 3 to 5 lactations or pregnancies, 3 to 5 births. You can see milk fever become more prevalent. Jerseys are especially prone to that. So we're going to take this calcium paste. It's actually calcium, magnesium, and cobalt mixed together. We're going to try to give this to her orally, just to kind of get her those supplements and make sure that milk fever is not an issue with her. It looks like she's standing up and kind of talking to the calf a little bit, so we might wait just a little bit just to make sure that he's getting enough colostrum. And then we'll go ahead and administer this. Basically what you do is you get an applicator like this. It's very much like a caulk gun. And then you take the tube here and you just insert it into here and twist. That locks it into there. Poke a hole in the end. And then you just put this in the back of their mouth and try to get them to swallow as much of this tube as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Seems like she's doing okay right now. This is just preventative. Let's see. Take this. You can see it starts to come out the end right away. It's good. So we'll see if we can get her to take some of this stuff. You want to elevate their head as much as you can. She is not loving the taste. So we got like almost half of it. See if we can get the rest of it in there. We may have to put a halter on her and hold her still. All right, so she got most of it. She's not happy about it, but we didn't have to put a halter on her, so I think that's good. We'll kind of watch her. It does say that you can put, you can give her a second dose 12 to 24 hours after. We'll let this settle. Hey, buddy. You get any colostrum today? Are you just snoozing in the sun? Lorelei had horns. Well, I should say we assumed that she had horns. Rory, her baby, did have horns, and we had them removed by a vet. This little guy will likely have horns as well, since Digger is the father. He has horns. I assume it is almost 99% positive that this guy will have horns. So we need to make that decision. Do we have those buds removed, or do we let them grow out? And I'm not sure. We'll think on that one for a little bit.
We're about 10 hours in to this little baby being born. We have not seen him nurse. That doesn't mean that he hasn't, but we have not seen it. And Mama's being really nice to him, licking his head and things like that. But he is panting quite a bit here. And my husband came out to check on them, and he was actually, our little bull calf was in the woods. He had wandered off. And so I just don't know if Mama's like not taking care of him or what is going on. We're gonna move these two into the barn. We've got a stall in there that will fit them just fine. We're gonna try to get him to nurse again. We tried this morning and he just had no interest in it. And then he peed a whole bunch. So we thought, okay, he must have nursed and he's just not interested. But now he's here. It is kind of warm today, but he's here just a panting. So much cooler in the barn. I'm gonna try to get him fed. Colostrum is super, super important at this stage, especially before we hit the 12-hour mark. And so Mama seems to be doing good. She's got a ton of milk. But we just have to get these two paired up in a space where he can't run off and where she will hopefully pay close attention to him. Ryan is calling her in and she knows exactly what to do. She's done this before. We'll probably have to carry him in because he's not looking super excited to follow Mama.
Oh, you can stand, just like that. Go find Mama. There we go. Love it when they're little. Not long.
When we first moved here, Lorelai lived in here for a couple months. Not ideal, but it is big enough for a cow. But being on pasture for as long as she has been, I don't think this is going to be ideal for her.
All right, it is about 8 o'clock at night. We've got Lorelai and baby here in the barn to cool down. It was pretty warm tonight. Or today rather. It was pretty warm out, so we brought them in here to cool down. Lorelai is not happy about being in the stanchion, as you can tell. She's quite upset about it. And you can tell that she's not happy about it because she is pooping and peeing while she's in the stanchion. She's mostly upset because baby is right over here in this pen. So we're going to try to milk out. It's been about 12 hours since she's given birth to this little guy. He was doing well. He's got a lot of colostrum poop in there, which is good. That's what we want to look for. Actually, I haven't seen him nursing yet. But he's got colostrum poop in the stall, which is good. That's why we brought him in here, so we could monitor that, and so we could get a little bit cooled off too. While I was cleaning Lorelai's teats, so we do that before every milking, washed with warm soapy water, I noticed the front teats were a little bit wrinkly, but washed off really nicely. Normally the back ones were slick. When that soapy water hit them, they were very slick, like they had a coating on them. And that is actually, is what Christine told me today, that coating is actually leftover saliva from the baby. So if that's true, that's a good sign. It means baby is nursing off the back too. The front ones, I didn't have that. So at least the last nursing session, didn't touch the front teats, which is what we saw with Rory, was that she preferred the back. So I'm going to get milking here, try to milk out some of this colostrum, and we'll see how it goes. And then we'll do the same thing tomorrow morning. 12 hours after this, we'll milk again, and again, 12 hours after that. And we'll try to get the milk flowing and get everybody's comfort level where it needs to be. All right, here we go.
Okay, it is late at night. We've got Mama and Baby separated. Baby's laying down back there. We just milked her out. Last year when she had her first calf, our first milking, we got 1 quart of milk. I think it was actually a little shy of a quart. We just milked 5 quarts from her, so over a gallon. It's good, yellow, bright colostrum. What I'm going to do is try to freeze dry it and see how that goes. I've never done that before, but our freezer is full. We still have milk from her last year, and it's more usable in a powder form for us than to have it frozen. It also retains its nutrients better, and you can keep it for like 20 years. So that's my plan, is to freeze dry her colostrum. Hopefully it doesn't expand. I've seen some cream and milk issues where they can kind of bubble up. So we'll see how colostrum does. That'll be a really interesting project for us. But she's in here with her baby. We still have not seen him nurse, but he is pooping a lot. He's peeing a lot. And so I think that's a good sign. We're keeping a really close eye. We have tried to catch him nursing, but just no luck so far. But everything points to good health. When she came back in here, he had the zoomies. He was running around in there, and so he's not at all lethargic. He was bumping her milk bag. So I think he has it figured out. We just haven't seen it. It's a little bit difficult. He's got some runny poops. We're going to keep a really close eye on that, but it could be normal for day 1. And so I'm going to keep him in here tonight. I thought about putting them out on pasture, but because he was in the woods earlier today, I'm just not sure if she's taking that good of care of him. So we're going to keep them in here, which will help them bond, and they'll be okay through the night. And then we'll see about turning them out in the morning after morning milking onto the grass. She's also eating a ton of hay. So I don't know if she didn't have enough out where she was at, or if she's just really hungry after giving birth. But it's good to have her in a controlled situation here where we can see how much she's eating, make sure she's getting enough, and hopefully keep an eye on this baby. So I do have a Blink camera. I'm going to try to get it set up on these guys tonight so that I can check in on them. But today was a very long day. We're going to go get some sleep and just check on these guys in the morning. We milked around 8 o'clock tonight, so we'll milk at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
To. Dad said I can wash the teeth off if I want to.
You can tell Mama doesn't want to be away from her baby. She doesn't want to get in the stanchion right now, and she pooped. So a lot of times they know it's poor behavior, but they poop or pee in their stanchion when they're irritated. And so she's just telling us, I'm not super excited to do this, but she's in there now, and she will feel a lot of relief when we get some of this milk out. A lot of this is hormonal and just not wanting to be away from her baby, but she will remember the routine very soon, and we'll be back to her normal milking. But definitely an adjustment period. She was not kicking a lot yesterday. She was perfectly okay with us milking her. I think she felt a little bit of relief. She's got a lot of edema right now, but she's doing really good, and we'll get her milked out. We're getting about a gallon of milking right now. Just colostrum, not a whole lot of usable milk for us. But like I said, we're going to freeze dry some of it, and that will be for future calves if we ever need it. So go ahead and get her milked out and take a look at her baby and see how he's doing. Baby is doing so well. He is healthy. Everything that we are looking for, he is handling really well. Nursing. He is pooping and peeing like normal, so he's getting plenty to eat. He was just up and running around. Now he's just laying and relaxing. His mama's getting milked, and then we'll tuck them in for the night. I think tomorrow, we're going to see. It might rain, so we might put them on a pasture. We might keep them in here just for a couple days of rain so he doesn't get sick. And we've got her easy here for milking. She's given about a gallon per milking, which is pretty amazing. So we're going to let these guys rest tonight. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We'll give lots of updates on this guy and the other calves and cows on the farm, as well as all of our other animals. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for hanging out with me. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.